We are back here, just completed our vet final, and now we'll get into the heat races for our pro division. This is including Mike Brown, who's the guy that is leading the points. But that first race in the vet class gave us a great preview of what should be in store here. We'll show you some of the highlights of that. Came down to the last lap.
Yeah, watch this. Coming into the finish, Kurt, Nicole, and Colby began pulling out the pace car in the first race of the night. Colby got squirrely, grabbed a handful of throttle, straight into Kurt. Colby got the band end of the deal and ate a little front tire in the process.
It's good to see Colby eventually was able to get up and finish in second, Adam Booth third, and Kurt Nickel took the win. Again, that was 2 corners from the finish, and here are the results of that one. It got all crazy there in the last lap, saying that Stephen Ford ends up in the number 3 position, Davis and Booth 4th and 5th. And there's the rest of the top 10, Gelhaus, Adams, Kraus, Thompson, and Roble. And that was your 4-lap vet final. We'll bump it up to 6 laps for our first heat race in the pro division. And all of these gate picks are based on what they did in hot lap qualifying earlier today. And it actually wasn't a great hot lap for Mike Brown. But he still had a pretty decent pick. Taylor Robert there, 33, picking the inside. He was lightning fast this afternoon.
Taylor blew me away today. You know, going into the water section, he was one of 3 riders to actually jump the entire water section. That takes a lot of commitment. And Taylor's a great motocross racer as well as an off-road guy. So you see him bringing that aggressive style to Endurocross. And that's what makes it cool. And that's what's elevated the game to the point where it is now.
It is unbelievable. There are 2 sections, the log section they call the Matrix, and that water section you just talked about, they were jumping over. That was something unheard of in the early days of Endurocross.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible the level it's on now. And you look at Taylor, he's calm, he's relaxed. He's actually flying out in a couple days for the International 6 Days Enduro. So he's got a lot on his mind, but I think he really has the ability to focus and do what he needs to do, which is get into the main event from this heat race.
There you see the water section. Brown was the first rider to jump it in practice, and eventually Taylor Robert, Taddy Blazusiak able to do it as well. They cleared that whole thing. They just basically turned it into a double jump. The water, the logs, all that other stuff, might as well not even have brought it in. They clear the whole thing. It's
a very sketchy jump because if you land long, you land in some rocks. And Mike Brown was the first guy to pull it out, which not really surprised because Brownie's a very calculated rider, but he kind of leads the charge as far as aggressiveness. Even though he's one of the oldest guys out there at 41 years old, still very, very solid, very, very sharp on the bike.
Yeah, I don't think anything about Mike Brown's approach to racing has changed from 21 to 31 to 41, probably age 51. He'll still be aggressive. So here we go. We're going to have our first pro class heat race of the night. It'll be 6 laps. Top 3 riders will automatically transfer to the main event. Everyone else will have to go to the last chance qualifiers, who will take the top 2. So this is really a race of survival. It's not about winning the heat as much as it is avoiding trouble and getting into the main event.
Very strong start from Brown. You saw him from that second gate, just grab a big handful, great traction coming into the rocks. Taylor Roberts right on him though, and Cody Webb, number 2, he's due for a win.
Yeah, Webb earned that number 2 the hard way, second in points last year in the championship. There they are, jumping the Matrix. Will they jump the water?
No, not on the first lap. That's probably smart on Brown's move. You know, he's dictating the pace of the race. Taylor kind of has to follow Brown's cadence.
And we're going to show you Mike Brown nailing this start.
Perfect form, perfect traction coming in. Oh, 27, that's Wally Palmer going down on the outside. He's a strong rider, so I think we'll see Wally come back in the LCQs, but right now it's the Mike Brown show.
Taylor Robert trying to measure him here in second. They've got a little bit of distance on Webb on the number 2. Look at Brown muscling it through this tunnel section.
I can tell you, Jason, as a racer, it's kind of good to be in second place right now. You know, you see, there goes Brown doing that huge double over the water. Taylor didn't follow suit, but Taylor's in a good spot where he can watch Mike's lines. He can see what he's doing. Right now, Taylor's in qualifying position, too, so he can learn a lot.
Yeah, again, with only 3 riders with a direct transfer, and that danger factor as Robert jumps into the firewood, there's always that chance of going down in Endurocross, like we saw at the end of that vet race. You can easily be knocked out of the qualifying position, so I don't know if they're going to let it all hang out this early in the game. Watch out come main event time, though. Robert's not going to be hanging back.
Yeah, that's kind of the beauty of Endurocross, is anything can happen.
Yep.
Right now we've got Cody Webb in 3rd. He's 1 crash away with these guys coming together.
That's right.
Leading the race.
See if Robert, does not go for the jump. I didn't time that with the stopwatch, which is not the most accurate item, but it's not as big a time difference as you would think jumping it. It is faster. It is a massive difference, and of course the risk is pretty large as well. You see Brown making some mistakes in the firewood, and just like you said, Taylor Robert in a great position.
Taylor might be making a move here. He's looked really solid through the rocks, and with some lappers in there, could give him an opening.
This rock section right here is where Brown bobbled in qualifying, and that is the reason that he was not on the top of the board. Taylor Robert was. Now they're fighting through lap traffic and battling each other.
Brownie might have to pull out the double right here.
He chooses not to.
Yeah, there was traffic in the way. That was smart on his part, but I'm thinking part of it plays into the dirt being so wet too.
Absolutely. Webb just going through there now, trying to get around some lap traffic. The 77 of Joseph Moschak was down in the water. Look at Robert trying to find a line on Brown.
Robert looks strong through that section, and I think if he can just stay on Brown's rear tire, he may find an opening, pressure Mike into a mistake. But there again, Mike's a tough guy to pressure into anything.
Yeah, he's been there, done that. He's dealt with these situations before, as they're putting Palmer, who is down in the first turn, a lap down now. Bunny hopping that bike to lift it over those logs. Here we go into the double. Nope.
Taylor's riding very smart tonight. You know, like we talked about, Jason, some of that could play into the fact that he is going to 6 days soon.
Yep.
That may be in the back of his mind. He has a huge race next week where he's representing our country, so he doesn't want to get broke off. But at the same time, he's a racer. He wants to get past that guy in the KTM.
He's fighting them for it. Here it is, last turn. And the white flag coming out. There it is for Brown. This rock hill has been tough for Brownie all weekend long. This time pretty clean, but I think Robert a little bit quicker. Trying to set him up for something here in the final lap.
Yeah, he may be trying to get around right here, just coming in. They both jumped the matrix. I don't know if Brown's going to do that double. He came up a little short on the tire, so this could be Taylor's game. You see him trying different lines, and that's so important when you're following a rider. You can't be right on the rear tire. You got to try anything. So we may even see something dirty if he gets desperate.
This is the same section where they battled out in that vent race. And Robert jumping and getting to the inside. Sideways.
Wow,
not able to capitalize. Brown is going to overcome the challenge from Taylor Robert and win the heat race. Robert, that was a great effort on the final lap. And we're looking for top 3. That is the key. Was Cody Webb in that position all the way through. And with 1 turn to go, he appears to be locking down that final transfer spot. And that's all you really want to do here.
Yeah, Cody's been dealing with a foot injury. I think it is healing, but there was a little bit of complication, so he's just happy to be in the main event at this point. But what a statement from Mike Brown, coming off such a long summer break of no AMA Endurocross events, coming out with a heat race win. I think that's where he wants to be.
His starts have just been on point all season long. He's whole shot both main events. He grabs the whole shot here in this heat race, and he hasn't really had to work through any of the typical problems. We haven't seen big crashes or anything. Is it due to happen, or can he stay perfect?
No, he's a solid rider. He did what he needed to do in that heat race.
And we have Mike Brown. Hey, Mike, it's Jason Wygant and Chris Dennison here. Congrats. Definitely dealing with some pressure from Taylor Robert. That was good racing.
Yeah, it was great. You know, getting a good start here tonight is going to be the main thing. The track's so fast, and some of the jumps, you know, some of the jump, the matrix we're jumping that, and you get a lap traffic, and it's it can be anything happening.
Now, Brownie, you mentioned the start. How important is that for the main event to grab that whole shot?
That's probably on this stuff here, 80–90% of the race, and just getting through the rocks. Like the start and the big rocks after the finish line tonight is going to be the key winner.
What about jumping the water section? Is that something you want to do every lap? What changes there?
Just getting the other side is getting really slippery and muddy, and if you can do it perfect, it's good. If not, I think it's not as fast. So I think just getting the matrix, getting through the rocks is a good plan.
All right. Good job, Brownie.
Thanks, everybody.
All right, that's your points leader. Mike Brown has got himself a victory in this heat race, and we can show you the results now. Remember, the top 3 transfer into the main event. Taylor Robert, of course, was second. He saw Webb take third. So a couple other riders are going to miss. Ryan Sandy Pants Sandoval ends up 4th. It'll give him a good gate pick for the LCQ, but any extra lap you have to take in this track is just more energy.